We'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. 6:32 p.m. If you would, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice.
Roll call. Ben Stone's present.
Carolyn present. Lori Easter present.
Shane Childers present. Approval of meeting minutes for 12/29/2025, the special meeting minutes.
I move we approve the meeting minutes of 12/29/2025 special meeting minutes.
A second. All in favor? Aye. Approved claims, the January 2026 docket.
Move to approve January 2026 docket.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Need to approve the December 2025 bank reconciliation as presented.
I move we approve the December 2025 bank reconciliation as presented.
Second. All in favor? Aye.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
I'll take that.
Ordinance 2026-03, amending chapter 93 regarding alcohol. So what this is it will allow alcohol to be sold at functions, the fish fry, cider festival. If someone comes to the town and says, we would like to do this and have alcohol, then the council will approve it or deny it. I'll just, do you want to read through that real quick?
Let's see what I see here.
So this specific ordinance is the first part of it. And really the only purpose of this is to amend a portion of the town's municipal code, which deals with parks. Specifically, there's a portion of the code which prohibits the consumption of alcohol at town's parks. This adds some language to it, unless there's an exception that's been granted under the town code as otherwise provided. So this is just an amendment to a portion of town code that prohibited the sale of alcohol on town property parks. So this is just the first part. The second part will come.
Questions?
For me. Move to approve ordinance 2026-03, amending chapter 93 regarding alcohol.
Since this is an ordinance too, unless you want to do a first reading tonight.
Consider on first reading.
Yeah, it's the federal rules. Consider you want to do a motion, suspend the rules.
Make a motion to suspend the rules and consider on the first reading ordinance 2026-03, amending chapter 93 regarding alcohol.
All in favor?
Right.
Aye.
Now that you've suspended the rules,
Now you gotta.
now you gotta make the motion to. It's on one reading.
I move to approve ordinance 2026-03, amending chapter 93 regarding alcohol.
All in favor? Aye. New business. Appoint town council president.
I move to approve Jane Childers as county council president.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Yeah, right.
I appreciate what you do. You handle it well.
Move on to consider the Boone EDC contract with Andrea Kern.
Hey, everybody. My name is Andrea Kern, and I am the new CEO of the Boone EDC. I've been there since about April of 2025, so a few months on the job, and have had the pleasure of getting to know most of you through that process. And just want to go quickly over some of our highlights for 2025 and give you the opportunity to ask us any questions that you might have. So on the first slide, you'll see this is our team. We're a fully new team, so everybody was hired in 2025. I am really excited about leading the organization. I've been, prior to coming here, I spent 8 years with the state of Indiana in the Office of Community Rural Affairs, where I helped communities all across the state access different grant resources and do downtown development. And then prior to that, worked for a preservation nonprofit supporting downtowns in northern Indiana, and just have a real passion for rural Indiana and historic places. So that's a little bit about my background. And then Shelby is our Director of Strategy and Innovation, and she'll be handling a lot of our special projects, as well as doing economic development for the office. And then Kate Ferris lives in Whitestown, and she is our operations manager. So she makes sure that we pay all our bills on time, and our parking lot is plowed and all those fun things, especially in the winter time. So on the next slide, you'll see is a really overview of our leads tracker. I don't want to spend a whole bunch of time on this, but a little bit about what we do as an economic development office is that we are really the front door to business opportunities in Boone County. So we had 119 leads last year alone, which is really significant. When we pursue a lead, that can take anywhere from an hour to review it and respond to it, or it could take weeks, sometimes months to review that lead, working with the companies. And sometimes they have full teams of people that also work on that. But we had 23 of those leads came directly to the Boone EDC. Typically, a lead that comes directly to our office is a higher quality lead. That's somebody who's really looking at Boone County and wants to make an investment there. So I think 23, when I saw that stat before I came in here, I'm like, that is a incredible number that's coming directly to our office. That means we're getting somebody every other week that's looking at the county and wants to make an investment here. So, we're really the front door, and, instead of navigating lots of different municipalities and different processes, we try to make sure that we have those great relationships with our municipalities so that we can be a great, role model and say that, make those connections as well for our communities. So that's a big piece of our job. But we've also had kind of a banner year for traditional economic development. So we had 3 major attraction projects, which had a total investment of $136.4 million and opened hundreds of new jobs and a combined payroll of $11.5 million for the county. One of those companies is Fiber Global. The other was Ring Container Technologies. And they're really, both of those are advanced manufacturing. So this is not, the typical logistics jobs or things that we've been seeing in the past. This is really high quality, high wage jobs for the county. And then we've also had, projects that we've worked on and supported, such as 42nd Commons, which is a great project spearheaded by Boone County's own Tom and Jake Merritt. And another piece that I think is just interesting to know is that the Boone EDC only works on projects and incentivized projects that have a higher wage than the county average. So that means that if a project is not in Jamestown, it gives residents of Jamestown even an opportunity for high paying work as well. So right now the county average is $26.72, and we're shooting for wages that are $33.40. And that's in alignment with the state as well. So there's no incentive, and we don't really get involved in projects where it's not really elevating the county as a whole. We also had 3 existing Boone County employers announce their plans to expand, which included GXO, Caterpillar, and New Coal. And between all 3 of those expanding companies, as well as those that were announcing, we added over 1,300 new jobs in 2025, with a total of investment of almost $500 million. So pretty big year for the second fastest growing county in Indiana as far as attraction and expansion goes. On the next slide, we also, something I'm really proud of is our business retention and expansion program, and that's how we pour into our existing businesses. I am committed to this being a priority for the Boone EDC, not leaving in, the face of growth, that we're not leaving our existing businesses behind. So we actually posted yesterday a new position for our office, and that position will be fully focused on business retention expansion, where we go in and work with our existing employers and talk to them and make sure that they know that they have an ally and somebody who wants to advocate for them so that they don't feel the need to move to a county. If they are facing challenges, how we can connect them to resources and hopefully help them stay in the county as well. I will say that our first business retention and expansion visit is scheduled in Jamestown, so we are going to FTIC in February. So that's an exciting opportunity as well. We had a lot of celebrations, that's also in there. And then we also wrapped up our 180 in Color program in 2025, which was a lot of public art investment as well. And so we did the Pizza King in Jamestown mural there as well. So that's a little bit about what we did in 2025. And then the last slide there is some of the exciting things that are coming in 2026. Including our, with new leadership comes kind of like a new direction. And so I'm really excited about a 3-year strategic plan that we hope to launch in July-ish of 2025 or 2026. So we're currently going through all of the very early planning stages. We have our first board strategic planning meeting this week, but really excited for an opportunity to connect with our municipalities as well and make sure that the organization is working on in the way they want us to be working. So we also are committed to doing education around economic development and are doing our Next Up series. So that'll be new, but we're bringing Jim Higgins, who is with LWG Municipal Advisors in, I think it's the last, I just saw on my calendar, I think it's February 11th or February 10th. But it's an all-day workshop, and it's not just for our elected officials, but it's also for people who are curious about municipal finance and just want to continue to do some of these educational opportunities so that we can show, why we do economic development and why it's important for our communities to continue making that investment as well. That's it for me. Any questions?
Is the years of any good in that?
Nope, it's great. Yep. And we do our HR roundtable as well. And so we're inviting all of our HR managers, and that gives them an opportunity to talk about different workforce challenges that they might be having, and also so that we know what kind of resources our employers are looking for and really need. I know I missed this one on here. I gave Patrick my slides, so but I think I put this on here. We're working with all 3 school districts as well to do a career apprenticeship program. And so that's early stages, but we're responding to the new state requirements that has the workforce seal as one of the diploma options. And so we'll be working with all 3 of them to make sure that those experiences for the students are high quality as well. So kind of liaisoning between the employers and the school districts as well.
What's the role of the apprenticeship program you're talking about?
What do you mean the role?
I mean, what is? Perfect. So I'm looking for more information.
So the Central Indiana Education School collaboration, they do like the regional, I'm not an educator, so I'm sorry.
No, it's about me.
But they have a program called Career Apprenticeship that they've done in Hendricks County and I believe Hamilton County. And so we are taking that model and doing basically the same thing that Hendricks County did. And I'm forgetting what it was called there, but it's still pretty early right now, so.
Okay.
Yeah. But hopefully we're able to be that kind of connector to making sure that anytime a student is placed in a business, they're not just additional workforce or making copies, but that it's a really high quality experience for them and that they're learning from that experience as well. So we hope to have a shared position between the EDC and the chamber that would manage that entire program. I think it's going to be a big lift based on what we've been. Yeah.
I was just curious because municipalities have a lot of, with utilities and stuff, there is a lot
Yeah,
of shortages there. So
yeah,
I didn't know if there was any programs.
I think that's excellent. I think that it makes me, I would love to see our high schoolers understand a career in, public service and how rewarding that can be. So I'd love to get together and make sure that you guys are included in that.
Okay.
Okay. And also I'm very much an open book, so if you ever need anything, please call me or. Thank you.
Any questions? Patrick, have you looked this over? Okay. I'll entertain a motion to approve the Boone EDC contract for $1,000.
I move the approval for the EDC contract, $1,000.
A second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And I've talked to Andrea since she's been here more times than I've talked to Molly in 7 years. Thank Okay, moving on. Josh, I see John on there.
Yeah.
Does he need to give a report?
Go over stuff with PAF, there really wasn't nothing in sewer plant that happened in the last month, so. That was all he was gonna do, was talk about some things over 75.
Well, I was just gonna get him through so he didn't have to sit there the whole time.
Well, if he popped his head back up there.
He heard me call his name and he thought, oh boy.
All right, thanks, Shane. I got a pay application from PAF for the State Road 75 utility relocation project. We were kind of going back and forth with them yesterday and today to get this finalized, but Isaac from our office just sent it out. It's a pay application, pay app number 3, in the amount of $161,657.32. Again, that's all part of the reimbursement contract with NDOT, so that would be provided to NDOT for reimbursement, but does require council approval. So
Well, it's 6:16, so, I mean, the email didn't come through, so it's not on the agenda, they don't have the document. You know what I'm saying? They can't look at it right now. So I don't know what the protocol is for that.
yeah, again, it was PAF had submitted, they had some issues on their pay app. We had to make corrections. It went back and forth today and trying to rush to get it in for tonight's meeting. And yeah, I don't know if there's a way to approve an amount pending your review of the pay application or not, but that's about all I can do with what I've got. So
I think you probably better off looking at it. I mean, if you haven't reviewed it, approve it manual. I don't know. I mean, is it something that has to be approved in January?
I don't know that it has to be. I mean, they're going to be asking about it, the contractor, but again, it took a while to get it corrected to where it needed to be. So, we can relay to them that it'll be another month until it gets approved.
The town will not be held liable for late payment or anything, correct?
No, it won't be anything like that. Again, it wasn't correct. We had to go back and forth to get it. So we were just trying to get it in for them to get it approved tonight, so they didn't have to wait another 30 days. But
I'd like to ask one more question. With that 161,000, was that our original amount?
No,
no,
the total was
total is 300. This is pay up number 3, Shane. So the total contract amount's 363,906.
Is this the final pay?
No,
No, it's not.
we made sure that we held out money because one, as of right now, the manhole has not passed. So we still have, well, they're supposed to have a contractor here tomorrow to do
Right.
the civil, so we'll wait and see.
Who is it?
Conco,
Not ours, it was somebody else that they got.
Conco Solutions is the name of the lining contractor, subcontractor.
So,
So they just refused to use ours or wanted to go with their own?
Yeah, I don't know. They may have gotten a lower price from this one. I don't know, but
so
we gave them, in talking with Josh, we set a deadline of Friday, January 2nd to either have that manhole successfully pass a vacuum test or they could line it as an acceptable alternative, and they haven't got that work done yet, obviously. So we did put them on notice yesterday of pursuing liquidated damages from that date of Friday, January 2nd until they get it done.
And how much is that a day?
It's $2,000 per day.
So I was giving them until, as I talked to John, I was giving them until this Friday, so we made sure we had plenty of money from liquidated damages occurred to have our contractor come and do it. So if it is not done by Friday, then they're not gonna have an option.
Do we have that choice?
No, I don't think you can make them wait till Friday because it's 2 more days. They're not going to pay the liquidated damages. They have the right to choose their subcontractor to line the manhole.
Right, but if they don't have it done by Friday,
Yes, yeah.
That's what I was getting at was, if they don't have it done by this Friday, then it's, we have the right to tell them they're done and we can finish it out because they're past their time limit.
That's
Correct?
right. That's right, yeah. And I included that in the letter that if it's not done by Friday, the town will have it lined with your contractor and you'll use the liquidated damages accrued to pay for it. And then he acknowledged receipt of that letter and said that we plan to have a contractor out there Wednesday to line the manhole. So,
And that's the reason why I picked Friday was to make sure we had enough accrued money from liquidated damages to make sure that we covered to get it done. So
with this pay app of 161,000, what will that leave, John?
that will leave $91,407.50.
which I believe 5% of the total. So what's that, about $18,000, somewhere in that neighborhood was supposed to be retainage.
Yeah, that's retainage.
So out of that 90.
Do you think they'll have it done?
Find out tomorrow.
I'm okay with contingent, the 161,000. What was that number, John?
It's $161,657.32.
I'm okay with approving that contingent on approval. We still have 90 something thousand that we're holding from them. This is reimbursable through the state. Josh has been down there. The work is done to his satisfaction, except the manhole.
Then they do have to come back and finish up grading and seeding.
And that'll be in spring, but,
And HWC is a as well, correct?
and right, HWC is basically the ringleader here and agreeing or telling them, no, this isn't right, as they went back and forth today about it.
Yeah, we've reviewed it and made changes a few different times, and they got to that amount that we agree to recommend. So,
That's up to you, Cookie.
I don't have an issue with it. I mean,
Yeah, you did.
I can see their point of pouring their money, and I can also see the town's point that we've still got a manhole set in groundwater and all that stuff.
You got 90.
Then we got 90,000. I don't have an issue.
I don't see too many. It's just a great track. That's good. Go ahead. Guys.
I'm okay with the contingent on the approval. Make a motion to approve $161,657.30 payout contingent on approval to PAF.
And that's payout number 3.
Payout number, that would be payout number 3 of the contract.
I'll second, I'm sorry.
All in favor? Aye.
What's contingent on approval? Approval of what?
When he sends that document over, because John has looked at it and negotiated it, Josh will look at it. And
I haven't even seen it yet.
I don't either.
So that's what he's getting by approval,
Okay.
that we all agree that it's where it needs to be. Okay, I got it. I understand. So.
All right. Is that it, John?
yeah, that's all I have on that.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
Have a good night.
You too.
Okay, we'll move back into order. Ordinance 2026-01, the 2026 salary ordinance.
There was one correction I seen tonight was that on the utility worker, you had brought up to make minimum $22 an hour. That did not get changed. The max did, but then
I just don't remember for it. I know we were gonna raise it. No one changed the beginning.
I don't think we need to change that.
okay, that's what was discussed that night. That's all I.
So this is the minimum for utility worker is 16 an hour, up to maximum of 26 full time.
Right, going from 23 to 26.
Going from 23 to 26 here. So they'd be starting out 16 an hour basically.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
Yeah. That would be the minimum anybody would make as a full-time utility worker, 16 an hour.
I think need to be able to move it up more. We're not. Even 16 or so.
Well, you don't have to hire them 16.
Well,
But,
if that's,
but if you have somebody that you question, you just want warm body and you don't want to pay $26 an hour
well,
or
I would give that
22.
But I'd like to see them. Things are getting very expensive.
I mean, just for paperwork purposes, I mean, I don't see it, just because it says 16, doesn't mean Josh has to say you're getting 16. Josh can say you're qualified, you work here, I think you're capable of 22. I would say Josh was capable of making that decision, and like Shane says, if it is somebody that you need somebody quick, so doesn't have any experience, then $16 isn't hurting town as much as 22.
That's right. As long as it can do her.
New to the salary ordinance is the fire chief appointed by the town council. They will be given quarterly payments of $1,750 per quarter, and that will total $15,000 a year. That pay will be $3,000 out of the general fund and $12,000 out of the public safety lit. Another thing that we have added this year is fire department participation. Instead of doing the clothing allowance and the gas, the $100 for clothing and $100 for fuel, and just handing out checks for people that don't even come to the fire station. We decided this is the best way to proceed, so if you participate, you earn part of your money. This is paid on a participation-based point system, and it's paid out annually. And that will be $9,896 up to that coming out of the general fund.
Okay, I answered, I don't think that we can, unless we have some kind of contract, to stop paying the $200. I don't think we can do that.
So it's gonna be, they'll get the $200 plus this?
Yes.
I'd have to take a look at volunteer fire. Department.
I believe that, in the statute, and this is how it reads, it says that every volunteer firefighter is due to $100 for clothing, $100 for fuel, unless otherwise stated in a contract.
So I mean, I think it's safe to.
I think that's our bypass around the $200. But on that note too, there's legislation on the floor to increase that from $200 to $500. So
we're gonna
we might get ahead of this before we get.
You start going $500 for 30 firemen, you're at 15,000.
So we probably wouldn't be able to give the participation. Yeah. So,
But as everyone is very well aware of, the PS lit, as we know it today, will be going away next year. There's gonna be some moving around and reorganization, and that money is what I understand will be sent to fire and EMS. So it's just a big, I don't know, wait and see. And we can't wait and see until they see in the state house. But it's just something we're gonna have to keep an eye on. I think this will suffice for 2026. Move on to the town marshal. Town marshal will go from 27.77 to 28.88 an hour. 57,000. Do what? 57,761.60. And that will move him to $60,070.40. That's based on a 40-hour work. 52 weeks a year. Deputy marshal, was 22 and now is 2310. Comes out to $48,048 yearly. Part-time deputy marshal's not exempt, $30 an hour, 10 hours a week, 5 paid non-work days. Or a part-time deputy marshal, $30 an hour, 20 hours a week, 5 paid non-work days. Superintendent of utilities, you don't need anything. He was at 33.53, and that will be moved to 34.87 an hour. The new yearly will be $72,529.60 based on 40 hours a week, 52 weeks a year. Utility workers, we're moving the maximum from $23 to $26.
What do you get for? What would you say there?
The deputy clerk pay, maximum pay will go from $19 to $23. Is there any questions on the salary ordinance for 2026-01?
Just a quick thought, the fire department paid on one system, 9,896, that would cover, it would be enough to cover everybody if everybody decided to make every run, get the full amount.
Joe, would you like to talk on that? I have a, in your packets, it's a little bit further down, but I have a point system that would, for whatever number we could get, it will work for that. It would be actual resolution 202601. So it's before all the veterans right away stuff.
Here it is.
We got entirely way too many papers. This is uncalled for.
I guess I should have put it right after this. Yeah. But this is my, what I came up with. I had to come up with something because you have something on your salary ordinance that says based on participation based point system, then you would have a point system right now. So
Trying to look this over, and I don't see anything wrong with it, this particular point system, I think. As we move through this next year, we can kind of tweak this, see where it could be better. Or where we're missing it and where we're not in this system. We have a few ideas for systems, but I don't have anything really here to present you right now. But I think if you get in I think we could go ahead and system. They love paying these guys.
and I have a spreadsheet that they can just fill in for like how many points or how many trainings they've attended and how many calls they've attended, and it automatically changes.
First dude will also help us track that as well. We'll tell you exactly who's been on that. We went on 37 rounds and I attended 10. I can tell you each individual firefighter.
Right.
We will, with the new system, we're getting up one of them, and our next to use I'll be able to have for you to show that this company runs this particular individual. Probably set this up in the system to where it just picks you out an email and says, here you go, here's your information.
I just know that I have a spreadsheet, when you put these numbers in it, automatically changes all the numbers. With the budget that we have and, you know,
And that has to be spent full every year.
that's what we'll do, yes.
So is there a possibility if every person made every run and every training? I think that's what Ben was asking. Like every person.
But my lord system here, that changes, so there's a maximum number of points that can be awarded, so if they all make it, basically, if every firefighter makes every run, we're gonna divvy that 9,000 or whatever else, 20 different ways, all be equal. Now, if a person makes the majority of the runs and one person makes one run, they're not gonna get the benefit of that. So, the more participation that you have in the system, basically it balances itself out. So at the end of the year, we basically tally up how many runs were made, and it's 800 points that we hand out. We're going to determine what that scale is from least to worst. So people who didn't participate as much will have a way smaller check, and the people who participated a lot more will have a way bigger check. But those points are going to change until we get to the end of the year.
Yeah, so I mean, this is an example, that second page is an example of what it would look like for somebody that attended one call. And, you know, somebody that has attended 40 calls and 10 trainings.
So so the town's only going up to 98, 96, and then they can distribute it. That's at 800 points, and then they just decide on themselves, the towns. That's all.
The scale changes with participation.
Sure.
So
But the town's not paying.
That's your max right there.
That's the max, yes, that's what I was thinking. And then it's up to you guys to leave everybody.
I'll give Lori the information,
Yeah.
basically at the end of the year, and then we will calculate it, and then she will still hand out the checks individually, or she will hand the checks to me, I'll hand them out. And the town will write each individual firefighter check based on their, if you want to call it, performance
So will we be
and participation.
taxing on that?
Yes.
We have to.
Is this kind of a work in progress with your?
It is, and I have to thank Lori because, we've talked about coming up, we're banging our heads together trying to figure out what it is that we can do to incentivize this. But I think this is a good start right here. I think, you know, as we go through this next year and try this out, we can see where we're gonna lacking, stuff like that, and maybe, even switch. You know, the only one thing that I kind of maybe a little disagree with is you're giving 5 points per round and 2 points for training. I think we can flip that. I think it needs to be 5 points for training and 2 points per round. Because rounds are pretty easy to do. It's the trainings that these guys need to come in here and do. They can't participate.
Let's hold it to whatever you guys want to do.
We gotta have something in there right now. And I think this system will work. But I think we can maybe, as we go through this year, we'll see where we need to adjust that a little bit and make it more, like I said, I think trainings are more, rounds are important, just as important as training, but we've got to make it a little bit more balanced.
Make them have more of an incentive to come to the train.
Big.
I thought it was even more incentive to go on the run, if that's what I was thinking.
Well, it's regardless, the moral of the story is this has been had for months. And it came down to having to have the salary ordinance, so she picked up the ball and ran with it, and this is what she came up with. You can either pass it or punt it in the sideline. Don't care.
I believe it's a good thing for us.
I would adopt salary ordinance first and then adopt a policy.
Well, we don't have to adopt the policy, they're trying to approve the salary ordinance. These have been discussed for months.
I move we approve ordinance 2026-1, 2026 salary ordinance. I move we suspend the rules. Ordinance 2026-01.
Make a motion to suspend the rules and consider on the first reading.
Okay, consider on the first reading, my apologies.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, now I move that we approve ordinance 2026-01, the 2026 salary ordinance for Jamestown.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Ordinance 2026-02. An ordinance permitting the sale of alcohol in the parks and on the property of the town of Jamestown, Indiana during certain specified events. Patrick?
Yeah, I referenced this earlier. So this is the second part of the first ordinance that was passed earlier this evening. The purpose of this essentially is to, if allow vendors to petition the town for certain specified events like fish fry and the cider festival to serve alcohol at those functions. The town will essentially say yes or no. Has some insurance requirements for them and also requires them to do business they have to do anyways. Go out and require state permits through to make sure that by the state. So, but this is at least gives them a process to through the town to get permission from the town to serve at an event that's located. It adds a new chapter to the Texas municipal code.
So, yeah, thank you for working on it. But what would be the process, say, for me on my end as, you know, an organizer, car organizer of an event? Do I have them fill out an application? Will there be an application?
They have to come to the town building.
Yeah.
And then we do everything down here.
Okay, so there's contact one of the ladies up front.
Yep,
Point
so-
of direction as to.
You, Park Board, Ryan, JCP, or whoever follows in either of your footsteps. You are having your function. And Jonathan wants to serve margaritas and daiquiris. He's tells either one of you two.
Right.
And he needs to come down here, talk to the girls. They will give him the proper paperwork to fill out. They can verify the
Run the gauntlet.
insurance and the licenses,
Yeah.
and then he'll be turned back over to you two, or whoever follows in your.
And you guys will let us know they're good to go.
There'll be a vendor agreement that they'll have to sign, and probably the council will give them express permission like it does to have events at
Now,
the
What
council.
are the applications as far as, not like the parks, I know the park is down there, but I mean, as far as, so the door, I know this is not a door, but the door has specific boundaries in which you can have alcohol.
This is
Is it,
town property, whereas,
so it's a town property?
I'll just read it. Just read it and be done with
I
it.
have a question of before you read.
Yep,
Since it specifies the fish fry and the apple festival,
yep.
are those the only two events? What if they added them? It was online.
Oh.
Yeah, I can. It says it specifically says those or any other festival, bazaar, concert, carnival, or other similar outdoor event
I
open to
just
general
didn't see
public.
that. I just wanted to make sure that we weren't limiting ourselves.
Both of those that say the cider festival and the fish fry, both of those lines say property owned by the town.
Well, I know property owned by the town, but my point is, it specifically says the fish fry. And what if they wanted to serve hot buttered rum at the tree light? See where I'm going?
This doesn't limit that, right? You didn't just say that.
Yeah, I mean, it defines special event, it's apple cider festival, fish fry, festival, bazaar, concert, carnival, or other similar outdoor event open.
So the other, that does, what it does say the other.
Okay.
And then no special event is permitted unless the special event host is first obtained express permission from the town.
Okay.
Which every time any.
Jason, Ryan, there is a specification in here that says a request for said alcohol permit shall be submitted to the clerk treasurer in the town of Jamestown no fewer than 60 days prior to your special event.
That was my next question.
So, yeah, don't.
When they get pre-approval, I guess, is get in the system. And then, once we come up with a date, essentially, and a participant goes through the approval that way. Is that how you want to do it? Essentially, you have a couple of vendors on file. And then that way you don't have, or is it the same process?
Oh, no, I think it's gonna be the same process every time.
So like they can come up tomorrow and start the process. Our event doesn't go until like May.
Well, no, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying like each different event they attend.
Yeah. I'm just saying that their information and everything will be on file once they've.
Well,
The permanent.
I mean, I think they are very.
Okay. All right.
I was gonna say, I know when you get
but license.
event license and all that stuff.
Expire.
Every time.
You know, things like that.
Yeah.
So.
They're used to doing it all the time.
That's easy enough.
Promotion. I move, we suspend the rules and consider on the first reading, ordinance 2026.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. No.
I move to approve ordinance 2026-02, permitting sale of alcohol.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
No, I mean, there will be some hiccups to work through.
Yeah.
I'm seeing all that.
moving.
Yeah, the machine's moving though, yeah.
Okay, first quarter 2026 electric rate tractor factor. Go ahead, Josh.
I realize.
As I say, had it. Don't know if I brought it up to the rest of the.
It will increase its scheduled rates for electricity sold by the amount of 0.003615 kilowatt hour.
So basically that comes down to if you use 300 kilowatts, fourth quarter will cost $59.82. The first quarter would be $60.90, an increase of $1.08. 750 kilowatts was 114.88, will be 117.59, so $2.71.
Motion?
One of the ones, maybe
Yeah.
back page, back 2 pages, is probably up there. That's what you're looking for.
Oh, I thought you said you were looking for it.
I want that.
Back 2 pages is probably what you're interested in, 8, 9.
You approve that. County municipal electric utility rate adjustment $0.00967 per kilowatt per month. Per kilowatt hour per month,
To the first quarter tracking factor.
first quarter tracking factor.
A second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
This year's.
Resolution 2026-01. Resolution for the cumulative capital development fund. This resolution has been brought up because we have two funds, CCF, Cat Fire, CCD, which is obviously CCF goes to the fire department, CCD is used by the police department. The Tahoes that Aaron currently uses now were purchased solely with CCD money. He has let that money accumulate. He has approximately $100,000 in there today. Our park board is willing and wanting to move forward and do some projects. I have sat and thought how we can fund the park for some money. CCD, I'm sorry, the current CCD fund sits at $96,862.15. I would like to see us allow the park board to spend some of this money. I would like to let them spend $15,000 to get a building. Their shed that they were talking about last month, put down at the nature park, put his tools in it. Get with Josh, maybe figure out where to put a light so it ain't sitting in the dark down here at the nature park. And then the money that gets put in there every month, let that accumulate for the park board to work with. This is not a forever thing that we're taking this money away from Aaron. This is just
Even part of some items.
give the park board some time to get things going and move forward. And then we'll revisit it next year and see where Aaron is and his police needs, police budget.
But we are fairly big.
2 years old. Right, Aaron? 2? Is that 3?
4 quarters.
That's
They're 20.2.
they're 3 years old. They're starting their third.
Okay, yeah, here. And I just going off on that.
3. So I think by doing this, you have Aaron in a stable budget. Like I said, it's not forever. It can be switched back tomorrow. But it gives the park board $15,000 to go purchase a building, have a pad made, and start to move their park department in a positive way. And maybe people will see that, hey, the parks is spending some money. That'd be something I'd be interested in doing. And maybe more people would be interested in working in the park.
For the record, I say.
So that's why this
Officers are capable of holding up another year, too.
Yeah, I'll get into it later, but mine's just turned 55,000 miles in. Yeah, I mean, they're cop cars, so I mean, pound that. But there are.
I don't really have any issues with it.
No issues.
I'm moving to approve resolution 2026-01. The cumulative capital development fund.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks, guys.
Now, Jason, you do understand that you can't go out and buy a shed. You have to go get your numbers and bring it to us.
Oh, yeah.
Council will.
Then you gotta get the permit. She's in charge of all the money.
Yep.
I mean,
So I just want you to know that you can't just go out and order a shed and it show up here and be like, yeah, we can't do that.
no. It'll just be nice to have all that $1 stuff in one spot. As far as, yeah, spending all the money, it's kind of boring department. We'll try to pay them.
Okay, do you have something you want to say, Josh?
First back to the driveway, that's all I'm on.
Okay, because we're gonna kind of skip over number 7, right?
I
I
can see
would,
that.
they would still approve the policy. And then you can always go back and tweak it to the extent it needs to be tweaked, but I think the council ought to approve the policy.
Good. Need to consider point-based participation payout for the Jamestown Volunteer Fire Department. And it would be the point-based system that we just looked at 10 minutes ago.
I move to approve the point-based participation payout for the JFE.
All in favor? Aye. Consider veterans right-of-way addendum proposal.
All right, so this is over the International Drive Extension road right of way part. The original appraisal came back at the state, over the state minimum, but only having one. We have had 2 appraisals to be able to date. The average of the 2 is what the law states that we have to do. So this is to allow, the original was $5,920 that was approved. And this is an additional $5,525 for a total of $11,445. This is for to have the second appraisal company to do the appraisal.
So this is additional services associated with the original,
Yes,
and it's an additional $5,525.
yes.
And that'll be done. Okay. Goes with this.
I'm gonna ask. Adam, there is a misspelled word on here. Permanent easement 2 is spelled TOO. If we're gonna have something, let's make sure it's spelled.
Yeah. The correct 2 is after it, so I'm assuming somebody put it in, meant to change it.
I think they were having fun.
I move to approve the veterans right away addendum proposal.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. International Drive easement purchase report and contract.
All right, so I had them divide off the utility easement part so that we could continue on and do that because it was a manageable amount of money. So their appraisal came back at $13,050 for the utility easement portion. There is an appraisal report came along with it to validate everything. as far as price per acre and all that. This was for 0.578 acres. So, and the road easement was 5.67 acres. So it's, there's a lot of acres in the road part versus the easement. So this is to approve to go ahead and start the purchase part of the utility easement, which the electric is the one that's using the easement as of right now. We can pay the $13,050 out of depreciation money to do it. But this is how we plan to run the bigger circuit over there to the houses.
Purdy's good with it.
Purdy was part of the whole design of the road and all that stuff. So this is the next step. Once we approve this, then Veterans Right Away will start the negotiation parts. And then they take care of, they cut us out of having to go in and try to negotiate or doing it, the paperwork and all that stuff. That's what they're for. They do all the paperwork and the negotiation between the two of us. We cannot pay over this amount. What there could be, something, I don't know what on this part, the road part would be more of the things of like access to each field, things like that helps reduce costs down, things like that we can consider. Like farming it for, they get to farm it without any rent until we go in there and do things like that can be negotiated on the website. Whereas the utility easement, there's really not much to negotiate. It's pretty much, this is what we get to offer them and see where they go from there.
So this is just giving
Yes.
them, the company, permission to offer this much.
Yes. Yes.
You've got permission to negotiate.
Yeah.
But we need a. Do we need a motion for the 13,050?
I would say yes.
Because that's the easement part.
Right. And that's all we're going after at this point until we get the second appraisal and all that fun stuff.
You don't want it above that number.
No. Because we're not allowed to pay above the appraised value of a piece of property. So, like say, for instance, it was for a water main. We can offer them up to 10,000 gallons free of water a month for the easement, but we cannot offer that plus the amount of money for the easement. We've got to give them equal to that value, but we can't go above it. Does that make sense?
And it's just like the 75,234.
Right.
The property owner was wanting $8,000 worth of trees and yada, yada, yada. Can't do. Entertain a motion to consider the right of way, or no, have that Xed out. The International Drive easement purchase report and contract for the $13,050 for the easement for the utilities.
I'm going to approve the International Drive easement purchase for utilities up to the amount of $13,050. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'll say they put it in my name, but you don't really know, does it?
Yeah.
I think it does matter.
Kiss, man. It's not a fiscal officer.
You can say it, but
Right, you can give your permission to sign it, but I would,
If he signs enough.
I would need to change the way you want.
which one of them?
And so,
Maybe when I tried sending it to you, maybe you can say, I tried to change it.
Okay. We're trying to get through this, Donna. Before we sent way too many papers. Appoint members, boards and commission. RDC, the BZA, the planning commission. Start with, Tina Pennington is the president of the redevelopment commission. She did submit a letter of interest. That appointment is by the town council president. I would accept her letter and appoint her to the redevelopment commission. Shane Childress. He did send a letter of interest. I did. That chair is appointed by the town council.
Approve change orders for RDT.
The second.
All in favor? Aye. Les Hawkins. I know I've seen his letter. Yeah, he sent a letter of interest. Well,
they were in the leader.
they were what?
They were in.
There it is. Let's say his letter of interest is appointed by the town council president. I accept his letter, reappoint him to the redevelopment commission. Next would be Jennifer McCarter Foltz, appointed by the council president. She did not. She did send a statement to the redevelopment commission. Did not reach out to none of the council members.
Yes, she said if it's not too late, I would like to have another seat on the RDC committee.
So. Yeah, look who it goes to. It goes to RDC members.
Oh, I got you.
She is appointed by town council president. I will accept her letter. For reappointment. Or no, I'll call the letter. Katie Duncan, appointed by town council. He did send a letter.
I'm aware, wait, came down. Reappoint.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So here is your RDC. BCA Sharon Spears appointed by the planning commission. They will do that at the next meeting, which will be Thursday. Tina Leader, appointed by town council president. Tina Leader did send a letter. They. I do not see one.
Smart one. Right. You only have 2 members of the BZA that terms are up because they're stacked.
Because hers is until 27.
Right.
So
And so
Tina Pennington's is due. She sent a letter, but I don't think she was being serious. I will accept her letter. Consider her appointment to the BZA. And Katie Duncan's She did send a letter. I will accept, as that is appointed by town council president, I will accept her letter for reappointment. And there'll be 2 next year. Good catch there, Tina. While you're involved. Planning Commission. Jason Leibowitz, 1/1/26. He did send a letter of interest. I will acknowledge his letter of interest. And appoint him back to the Planning Commission. Katie Duncan, 1/1/26, appointed by town council. Also submitted her letter. Oh, acknowledge her letter and reappointment to the Planning Commission. That looks like it.
Now it just seems like the adjuster just doomed to be on there.
Yep. Yep. Your partner and Jason Leibowitz, Pam Leibowitz, Lori Houston, and Pete Berg. They are still looking for another member. Anyone interested? Clerk treasurer?
I don't have anything.
Patrick?
I don't have anything. Happy to answer any questions. That's all.
Josh?
Really, the only thing else I've got to say is that nothing much went on the sewer plant for the last month. I'll talk about PAF situation, out there at the, subdivision, everything's moving along. Mayor has brought in a 3rd pipe laying crew to start doing the water main. The off-site is still progressing. They're at Columbia Street, getting ready to cut and start bringing the sewer and stormwater across Columbia. And then from there, it's extending the water main up with it and everything else at that point. Pond, what I call number 1, is the one by the entrance. That one is complete except for the outlet that connects the 2 ponds. They're holding off on that until they get the extension up to pond number 2, which is the bigger pond. Because there will be a weir built inside the outlet of that one that we control how much water can leave the pond and how fast. So that way we can help eliminate any rush of water coming out during a heavy rain event. Other than that, I don't have anything unless you guys have questions.
I do not. Nope. Aaron?
Happy New Year. For the month of December, the department had 15 traffic stops. That may be a record low. One ticket issued, 5 written warnings, 1 vehicle impounded. We had 3 crash reports. We had 3 runs of assisting fire EMS, 1 case report, which was for harassment. 2 ongoing investigations. Had 1 active alarm. 1 domestic fight, 3 civil disturbances, 4 reports of suspicious activity, 3 welfare checks, 30 extra patrols, 28 police services. Again, that's a catch-all category for people asking for directions, changing tires, unlocking cars, answering general questions and complaints. We had 2 juvenile issues, 3 animal complaints. Calls for a month were 100. December through March can be pretty slow. I added some figures on here for the end of the year, as I usually do. including the other two small towns here in western part of the county. Calls for service for JPD were 1,704 for the year, compared to Thorntown's 1,382. And Advance showing 71. Arrests, JPD had 23 for the year, Thorntown had 26. Traffic stops, Jamestown PD had 499 stops, Thorntown had 917. I could go on, but it's just kind of shows the difference in the towns and how they're policed and kind of activity we're seeing. Training hours, everybody got their hours in. At 89, well, it was actually funny. We found some that they'd been entered into the system, but they didn't pass through by the time we generated this report, having somewhere around 95 hours. Last year in reserves collectively at 126 hours. You guys got anything for me?
No, sir.
What's the ordinance is done? But what is that, what is that?
What's that?
All the figures. What are the ordinances? What are the-
So I pulled this data straight off the county's RMS system. So I just pulled TFS call for service, categorizes ordinances. I entered the dispatch for me 89 calls for service for ordinance. And that would be categorized as serving an ordinance violation, investigating and complaining of ordinance violation, or talking to somebody about it. Or they only show 5. I'm sure they had more than that. They definitely didn't have any, but it's just how Frank does it. What advances excuses, but
So really, it could be way more than,
for us,
for Thornton.
for Thornton, it could be more. I say it's gonna be way more.
You don't think they make people on other years?
That may be well. No slight to them. It hasn't changed. I worked there. I started there in November of 05 as a reserve. The only thing they cared about was if it was mowed and if vehicles were registered. As if they didn't care if you had a boat here or not. They don't like boats in the yard before that's. They get upset about it.
Thanks, Aaron.
Yep.
Fire department.
Happy New Year too. Start this year off with a little bit of bang. I think we've done 9 runs in the last 36 hours. So our guys have been extremely busy. But on that note, we did a total of 20 calls last month. We had 11 EMS runs, 7 fire runs, and 2 motor vehicle crashes. The average responder per run was 2.1. But on that note too, the average responder per 4 fires and 4.1 for the last month. We ended up end of the year with a total of 208 runs. As you read through, Super Santa went great. The auxiliary raised some money for us, and they also bring the stove for the fire station that was malfunctioning. Which I will, in the next month or so, get a list of surplusing items that we're going to be disposing of down there, including that stove as well. I do have a quote here to order, or I have already, 3 new sets of turnout gear. $4,769. It's a complete set head to toe for not only myself, but for Captain Mitchell and also Captain Long to have new gear. Their gear does not expire until the 1st of 2027. My gear that I had existing at Jamestown had expired in March. So we're getting it replaced. We're getting mine replaced. With that note, and I had a little discussion with Shane out here just a little bit before the meeting. We have gear that is expired that is not being utilized by firefighters that will be added to that surplus list. So basically disposing of it or surplusing it to somewhere. With that, also, There's a lot of commitment rate, and that's a possibility that utilizing this expired. They will be doing interior stuff, so we actually might reject, we'll let surplus it, we'll surplus it. With that being said, that this stuff on the way, just wanting her approval to go ahead and purchase this gear. And along with that too, my plan was to, like I said, with these two other people that's getting the gear, their gear's not quite expired, but by the end of next year, getting 3 more sets of gear. Hopefully I can find a brand if they could, and we don't have to worry about where we're getting the money from, but we'll get it that way. We start spreading this out, so little by little, we can replace gear as the time is appropriate, so we're not stuck with one lump sum. Buying 10 sets of turn on gear because 10 people are expired. So
Is there a massive amount of gear, 1 year coming soon that's gonna be?
2027. So that's why I'm trying to get ahead of it.
Yeah, a year.
Yeah,
This 2026.
I'm trying to get ahead of it a little bit. Trying to spring it down.
It's quite a few, and in there.
Yeah, we bought 15 sets.
We bought 15 sets, but we only have 18 members now. So we will have some sets that expire that just stay in the closet. What I'm asking for is to suit the firefighters that I have on the roster right now. I don't need to have 30 sets of gear because I don't have 30 firefighters. As we approach that, then we can kind of work toward that. But as of right now, there was about 7 firefighters after replacing these 2 sets that will have gear expiring in 2027. So hopefully by the end of this next year, I'll have 3 more sets, and then in 2027, we can buy 4 more sets. And you spread the cost out over 2 years, basically what it costs to. And start trying to get that scheduled out. So again, it's spread out. We're buying 1 or 2 sets a year.
So I'll entertain a motion to approve the order of the 3 sets of turnout gear.
Was it?
It was for $12,769.
I move to approve the amount of $12,769 for the turnout gear that needs to be ordered. 3 sets.
3 sets.
Full sets.
All in favor? Aye.
Along with that, as we're getting this stuff in, and we're going to start doing the complete inventory as we're bringing in this first duplicate. It's online, it's running, we're starting to track runs, we're starting to do runs. We're working out the bugs and doing the things with the dispatch and everything. There's a lot of things going on in the county. There's a lot of fire departments that are thinking about switching to this, so much so a special program that locks into this, that has to be paid for and bought, that the county is looking at possibly just paying for the program. So that was something that first dude didn't quite inform us if we could still use the program to do stuff. But there's a special program that gives you live updates and everything like that. The county is looking at possibly, the sheriff's office is possibly purchasing that. So that's something to worry about. But as we get that up and running, that should be something really good. So Zach has been working really, really hard to get everything kind of locked away on that. ISO, I still have some reports to send to her, which she knows. I kind of put her an email. I think there's along with my report, the training hours, she accepted those. There's been one thing there, she's starting her end of the year stuff. She was off for a couple of weeks, and I've only got about 6 or 7 pieces of paper that I need to scan to her and just email to her, but she's aware of that, and I'll send that on to you. Once I get a response from her, I will share her response of how we're doing and what the next steps are in the ISO thing. So that was it. Like I said, the junior firefighters program, we're going to be starting this up this month. We're going to be putting some ads out on Facebook. And I'll actually probably give Davis Cookie to put something in the paper there to hand out, to let everybody know that it's a program that you can sign up for. And then we'll go, it's gonna lead the way. Probably not a little bit here and there. Something I'm looking forward to kind of get stuck there with some of you guys. And last but not least, just so you know, at the end of February, I'll be attending state-run Fire Chiefs Academy course. It is a 40-hour week, 40-hour course that I take for the week. Not only will I be working with these some structured learning and different things and actually some the fire chief here and throughout the state level. Be able to work with this education on how you just running this give money, finance and rates, things like that. And then my we still representing those that are related to the fire service as a whole. And so I'll share that as we do in March. It'd be really fun for me. They're really great clients and they're beneficial. And that's all paid for by the state. Anything for me? Questions?
Did ISO see?
She seemed fine. She seemed, again, we're just, I hate to say we're just checking boxes for her. And then as they see the problems, they will address those. What she is wanting me to send were our fire reports, our actual fire reports that show responders, times, place, just for the fires. She doesn't want all the EMS runs or the medical runs. She just wants those basic ones that when we had a house fire in our district, stuff like that, I'll be sending to her. And I can tell you from kind of reviewing that stuff right now, we're well above that 4 responder level that they are kind of on. We've been fortunate, we haven't had too many fires out. But the fires in our district, I touched truck day, we had 9 people show up, not 10 people. Everybody else was at the fire station, but we weren't. So that one particular run, we had another one up here in the county that we had a pretty big response on. I had not 7 or 8 or 9 people show up and help us. So I think the guys are really working hard. They've bought on board. They're excited to kind of get things rolling again and doing things. And I've got some buy-in. So, and I've got a few people right now that have actually been tagging me, going, "Hey, I think I'd like to have an application. Let's talk a little bit." So hopefully we can bring a few more members on board. I have 1 firefighter and firefighter 2 class right now, a firefighter 1 2 class over in Thorntown. He just started Monday, so he's real excited to get that underneath his belt and to be able to come here and respond on runs with us. So, and he was programmed the kind of a long train thing, but he grabbed them when they're young, and that's not a need to start.
I told you before the meeting that I was gonna bark in this meeting. Not really barking at Joe. But it downright pisses me off that Joe Weider has been an expired firefighter here since freaking March of last year. We were told that we didn't have any expired equipment. And he bought 5 sets of new equipment for new people that never even stepped foot in the fire station. I'm not getting on to the tangent of the previous leadership of the fire department, but it is an absolute disaster to have firemen and expired turnout here. If Joe was to get hurt in a fire, Sarah will be suing the town because we let him go. And it is important that Joe goes through with his staff and there is 0 equipment being worn. None. It's a liability and we can't afford the liability. If it's expired, throw it away. surplus it and get it the heck out of the building. And I know that you wanted to keep some turnout gear for your junior firefighters. But I am worried that somebody will grab that coat and go put out a fire, and then we're in a liability. Mark.
We could borrow,
X on it, or I thought.
we could easily borrow it. Like I said, I'm gonna add to that surplus list, and I want to surplus it to the actual junior firefighters. We can take a big can of orange spray paint and put a big X on the back that says, this coat is non-salvageable, if we're gonna do that for them. If we actually go give it away, there's Ivy Tech, and I think, the South Fire Academy over here in North, or the South does, we'll take the gear. We don't need to, at that point, because they're not doing it here, but they know it's expired gear, they're just using it for drills, stuff like that. But if we keep it here, I will find a way to mark it to show that somebody doesn't pick it up and take it, because one, I don't want to. Two, if somebody did, they're going to be on my list of getting kind of chewed on.
I take part responsibility in this because as the fiscal leaders of the community, allowing firefighters or anyone else, the police department, Josh, anyone, be working with broken or expired equipment is a liability. And I take that personally because we don't have lots of money. But I'll tell you what, if you or Aaron or Josh have expired equipment or safety stuff, we will find the money to make sure that you are provided with the proper stuff. And that was my whole point before. I was told that that's the way it is. And Joe, I ask of you that, I don't ever want to hear, well, Sally has been in expired equipment since March of last year. I don't ever want to hear that. Shit will hit the fan.
Understandable, and I don't want to let it get to that point. We are currently, now everybody's safe, with stuff. I can easily go, and then there's another step down there that I'll switch into until this new set arrives.
So I take a lot of pride in my community, and I take a lot of pride in our employees and our volunteers, and I want them protected the best that we can possibly protect them.
Well, we appreciate that.
I was really proud to see that you were going to the fire academy, sort of the fire chief school. So, yeah, I'm proud of you for doing that. That's really all I have. I want to move on, really. I'm just getting mad.
That's Joe, that's why he's speaking up. I said, so does Joe. He wants people to be safe. That's why he's speaking there.
They have all of the diet. There's also that program that's.
It's joking that. Yeah, there's a lot of places. Well, as long as we surplus it. That's the big thing. There are computer monitors.
And they, where you guys sign something and say that we understand that this is not usable, for.
We are taking an expired current where we're using it. We will utilize it at our own risk.
Right.
Basically what it amounts to, take the
Right.
liability off of us.
Yeah.
So anywhere we would do that to, even like I said, if we keep it for the juniors at the market, I'll probably have them sign something that says this gear is wrong risk, that it's not serviceable prior. Good. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Joe. Building and planning, Shannon.
Good evening, council. It's Dave Taylor.
How are you?
Good. Can you guys hear me okay? Excellent. So the month of December for the building department in Jamestown was, well, we were a little slow as far as the inspections aspect of it. We did a couple. However, we did kind of increase on our permit issuing and permit reviews. We've issued 4 as of right now. And we've got a couple more that we're waiting for some additional information. We had a great meeting with Arbor Homes on the 15th of December, getting prepared for them, starting to pull building permits. I believe they said mid-March, 1st of April. So,
Yeah, that's what they said, but it may be sooner than that.
all right, well, either way, we're ready.
Okay. And I say that because the developer did get roads paved in there. So they technically have lots for them as soon as the water main gets put in and ready. So that could be by the
Is any of the backbone put in yet? In other words, gas or no gas, but electric, phone, cable, anything of that nature?
I don't know about cable, not yet. They're not in town yet. Phone, I'm not even sure they were even contacted or they ever got back to them about putting that in. But yes, water, sewer, they're working on the water. Sewer's already put in that area and drainage is put in that area. We're waiting, the electrical contractor should be starting later this month, but we already have plans to do temporary power, for them if they started building their homes, their models.
Okay. Well, the reason why I asked is a lot of times electric, phone, cable, they all are joint trenched. So that's why I was asking. So that's all I got, guys, for the month of December. Do we have any questions, any concerns?
And I do. We all need to get together again about iWork, but like some of our permits, is there some kind of disconnect? Shannon, you might be able to answer that. That's like on the 16th, we had permits submitted, or at least one I know of. We didn't go through every one of them, but like it wasn't even answered until 21 days later. At least one of them, and then we have like four. Actually, it's most of these, it's on here. And then next time, I do not want to backdate them because we have these contractors that are calling us several times a week. Sometimes every day, is my permit ready, is my permit ready? And then you go and put on the permit that it was done since December 31st. Well, it wasn't. There is no information in the review information or anything added to iWork. So do we need some training? Or Shannon? I'm not sure.
Shannon's having an issue with unmuting for some reason. Lori, we can definitely. I'm not too familiar with the delays. I know sometimes the disconnect can be where a permit will come through. It's for a site plan, and it's issued for Deb, which is fine, which is normally what happens, but the building plans or anything else isn't on there. I'm not sure what I know there's 3 of them sitting in there right now. They're all plot plans.
Requesting additional information needed.
I'm sorry?
Those have been changed to additional information needed. So the people have to submit more information on those, but these right here were in these permits that were issued on the 31st did you not have them, or that's what I'm not sure, right?
Let's just put it this way. There's probably some training. I know Shannon and I were going through it today, and when she clicks on a permit, she gets a different window than I do.
Okay, so there's a favorite that you can set and change your views, however.
Yeah, it's more technical problems for I mean, let myself. But we have tried, I know I've tried getting in there more than once or twice to figure it out. And I could probably use a little bit more with this whenever we can get together to do this to make sure we're not running into this when Arbor starts up.
Okay.
I want to get a handle on this now.
I said the whole time, we're here to help with whatever. Are you gonna put those reviews in the iWork so that your reviews and stuff?
I'm sorry, you were breaking up.
Are you gonna put in all the information that is, that we need, like the reviews and stuff like that?
Yeah, the ones that I was able to look at, absolutely. I was able to look at the two there on was that 45 East Main Street. I've actually met with him a couple of times going over his project on what he's doing. And then there was a accessory structure that we were able to get taken care of as well. So I'm which can you tell me which one, Lori, was you said 21 days?
Yeah. I didn't bring that.
It's fine. It's fine. We need to can we get together and go over this? You can tell me which one was 21 days and we can figure out what the issue was.
Okay.
Because like I said, you don't want these issues when these permits start coming in. So definitely let's get together and get this straightened out.
Right, and also, just these small little permits and stuff are just as important as Darlington villas as are. I just want to stress that.
Okay.
These are just as important.
Of course.
Well, that's all I have. We're here to help you guys anytime you need it.
Thank you.
You done?
Yep.
Have a good night. Thank you.
Thank you.
JCP.
We had a couple, even with the delays of the lighting of the park and the Super Santa, we still had a pretty successful turnout. The lighting of the park, we brought in roughly about $1,600 in donations. So that was pretty good. And then the cookie auction, the auction raised close to, it was over $1,400. And the auction, and that was from actual payout, for the cookies and a lot of donations. A lot of people just gave us a lot of cash along with it. So, and very thankful to people that purchased. That was a lot more, this year I say was more successful because the auctioneer is a little bit different and he definitely got people involved. So, I already talked to him and he's going to do his best to be back next year. So, with that being said, JCP was able to cut a check for a total of $2,500, and that is going to Greenwood Wells School. Patricia will anything from clothing to pencils. It's really that she really uses it for the kids personally, whether they're having a tough time at home. And It's just, it doesn't, she doesn't really buy stuff for the classroom, she buys the stuff for the kids. So, and she will get $20 out of the dollar. That's a, so it's going to a good cause. Other than that, we really don't have anything else going on until just planning for the next event.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
I have a question, right? So is that the same thing that it gets donated to every year?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Park.
Evening. Well, I guess I should start by saying thank you. I mean, for the whole alcohol thing, for the shed and money moving around and being supportive of the things that we need. I promise I won't ask for much after this. Pretty set with things to do for the year. Didn't have a meeting last month. But me and Pete Berg have talked about something that in the spring we want to do. Whether that's involving an Encompass with the board, just me and him. We'd like to give Tri-West and both FTIC a couple trees out of his nursery. He's going to donate. It's kind of a thank you for the labor that they've kicked in to help with all the renovations that we're doing to the park. Other than that, we're still one board short, one member short. Next meeting is on the 27th with new officers and all that stuff. And then this we're gonna do some shed shopping. So that's all I got. Yep. Thanks again. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Jason. RDC,
Nothing to report.
public request to speak, not related to an agenda item. I do want to touch base real quick. I don't know if you guys can see this. Anybody get this in their mailbox yesterday? So this is, I don't know, I got my mailbox, it was in there. The Town Post Network publication, Boone County Magazine. I would recommend that you look at it. Page 13, Jamestown looks ahead. And as you read that, please keep in mind that your clerk treasurer took the time and wrote all that. Brett Public is going down. Jamestown writing nurse is advanced. She didn't write for Thorntown and advanced. She just went good.
I thought it was very good. I like you showed it because some things.
I helped with it.
Oh, yeah.
Until I helped her by the language in it.
I have to apologize, Lord. Anything that comes to the Stokes household that's standard gets thrown away automatically.
Oh, man. You really should read that. You really should. I think Lori did a fabulous job writing that and submitting it. Yeah.
There is one other thing that they got the whole state, it's all Boone County or whole state. The activities that are going on this year. The books.
Oh, the festival guy, Lori. Oh, the festival guy. That is.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Oh, you mean we have them in the lobby?
Yeah, we have.
Okay. Yeah, if you have time, look at that. If not, I'll let you look at mine, but I do want to back. The RDC meets January 15th, 6:30. Park Board's January 27th at 6 p.m. This is in, the Plan Commission will meet Thursday, and the BCA will meet Thursday, one at 6 and the other directly following. So,
Can I make a note on that? I will not be able to be there. It is senior night
for which one?
Island.
Plan Commission?
Planning Commission.
I think you will probably end up being the president and the vice president.
Get away.
18 years of really gonna get the basketball in this.
Don't blame you. I do not blame you, but I'm just telling you, people warned that Thursday may be the president, vice president, and secretary.
Right on the shoulder.
I've got sloppy hands.
I vote we adjourn.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned at 8:27.